podcast is an electronic stroll through life with an evolving queen. Real topics will be discussed with a focus on growth, enlightenment with a side of healing laughter. I am Tiffany Danielle, a motivational comedian, author, mother, wife, and self healing advocate. And today we're talking about a marvelous topic: Black sons raised by single mothers. I want to set the scene for you. Picture it. There is a mother laying in a hospital bed. She is in pain. She has promised God that if she ever hears another person say women are the weaker sex, she gonna slap them till they dead. She has been in labor for 24 hours. They have broke her water, given her laminaria, Pitocin, and she has still not had her baby. It is about 8:30 at night. It's game 6 of the Western Conference semifinals. San Antonio is playing the Utah Jazz. I want to tell you that Utah Jazz won 108-81. There is a 6'3", 300-pound Negro at the foot of the bed screaming at the TV. There's the doctor in his scrubs screaming at the TV. They both going for the same team, and it's a woman laying in the bed to my wade in the water, waiting for that baby to be born. The Utah Jazz actually ended up winning that game 108-81. The Jazz did win the series 4-2. The Sonics went against the Bulls for Michael Jordan to be the MVP to win the whole NBA Finals. Michael Jordan scored 552 points during that whole series, and he was the MVP. Doubles won that series from 4-2. And at the end of Game 6, the Western Conference semifinals was born Greg Baker.
Hello.
I made this. I am so excited. My first guest on the show is my favorite Greg in the whole world. When I say he was worth every second of that 24 hours of labor, and then he came out looking just like his doggone daddy. I said, I need a maternity test because I don't know if this is my baby. But he's so handsome. He is so smart. And today we're going to talk about being raised into single families.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. You got something you want to say? Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Greg. I'm a senior at University of Florida. I'll be graduating this fall.
Yes! Sorry.
Blessed to be here, blessed to be alive, and, looking forward to talking about today's topic.
Yes. So, actually, do you want to tell them about your podcast, too?
Yeah. Me and my friends got a podcast going on called 352 Sports Talk. You can look us up on Twitter, IG, everywhere. Definitely get at us. Check out the show. If you're a big sports fan, be a perfect podcast for you. So
Exactly.
definitely.
He got that from his daddy because I don't know nothing about sports. I don't know nothing about positions except for doggy style. Anyway, okay. We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They are 9 times more likely to drop out of school and 20 times more likely to end up in prison. Now, they are also more likely to have behavioral problems or run away from home or become teenage parents themselves. And I have been accused of many, many times bragging on my kids. And so when I look at the things that are most common in children raised in a single family, let me just say this. I am married. I've been married. This is my second marriage. But essentially, I am financially and single. I am single in many aspects. Me and my husband have been separated for 8 years. So even though I am married, I am a single mother. So my heart goes out to you guys that, there are different situations that cause things to be the way they are. And so here I am raising my babies by myself. Not by myself, but without the father in the home. He is active, but he's just not in the home. And so when I look at the things, that they are 5 times more likely to live in poverty. You live in poverty?
I don't.
You don't live in poverty?
I do not.
What your life look like?
I'm blessed.
You blessed. You too blessed to be stressed. Can you tell he talks a lot like his mom? Gregory, basically from the time he was 16, has had his own car. He has always dressed very well. His outfits look like his amazing, handsome face. And when I say poverty, is not just the things that you have. When his mom needed to be there, who was at the games embarrassing him?
Yeah.
I'm good at embarrassing him.
Right.
When we at the hibachi singing happy birthday, everybody gets quiet and I yell, sing it the black way.
Yeah. Right. Very true.
Because I understand there's nothing that I want to look back on and regret. And I have a very important job. I'm blessed to not only have an important job, but to love what I do. But my children know if I'm standing there with 15 doctors, what I'm going to do, and you call me,
Get out the room and talk to us.
I'm still going to take it. I can be teaching the class and I'm looking. And if my kid, okay, I'm in the middle of something, what you doing? You need me? Okay, let me finish this. I'm going to call you back. That to me is the most richest part about my job. I can make sure that I'm still there for my children. If they call me and say, Gregory is sick or Noah's sick, I can drop what I'm doing and actually go and be there for them. And so that to me is probably the most rich thing that I can say actually about the blessings that we have in our life. I don't think that there has been a time where my son wished that I was there. So this is, let me say this. When all y'all were doing the little thing where y'all were like, text your kids and tell them the officer so-and-so is looking for me and want to know we were just tell them that we were together last night. My kids won't lie for me because they've been raised about integrity. They be like, Mama, I'm sorry, but I'll put some on your books. Because we can't all go to jail because then won't nobody be out here to put some on your books. So when we have conversation, it's actually real. Actually, last night I was standing in my son's room talking to him about pubic mounds and vulvas. Yeah. Actually, he had a human anatomy class and he needed some assistance with the body parts. And I only knew, there was only one I didn't know, right? Yeah. There was only one I didn't know. Boom, boom, boom. Get that done. So that to me is like richness. The second thing on there is to commit a crime. I don't think you've ever committed a crime. I don't think he has. But if he has, let's say my son has never been in handcuffs. I am so thankful to say that. I never had Boom Creeder knocking on my door. Excuse me, Miss Chisholm, Miss Pineda, Miss Pines, excuse me. Your son got me pregnant. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I ain't got no grandkids. Mm-hmm. And can I say that he's 23, I'm 46. 46 is my favorite number. I was 23 when I gave birth to him. So I am so blessed to have him. I think he was waiting for his daddy's birthday because he was born 2 days before his dad's birthday, 2.5 weeks late. Was that what you was doing? You can tell me.
I was chilling.
You was chilling? All right. Can I tell you, my son's name means watchful one. And when I say my son, is that accurate? Yeah. He watches everything. He's taking it all in. He's taking it all in. And he is the balance to me. Now, he also knows that he can come to me and say whatever he needs to say. We could talk about just about anything. And so then the other thing, when you say that 20 times more likely to end up in prison, again, I thank God that he has not actually ever been in cuffs, let alone accused of anything. He did get interviewed for some mess that was going on in his private school in high school. And that's about close as you can to getting in trouble.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So, of course, I want to say that these studies that show that children who grow up in two-parent households perform better in school. My son is at, and I would consider UF to be an elite school. I'm an alumni of the University of Florida. I'm so proud to go from being a Gator student to being a Gator grad. I didn't just attend, I graduated, and now I am a Gator mom, which is my favorite Gator title of all. And then they're less likely to commit crime. Now, I want to say this. I have 3 biological children. Gregory's here, Courtney's at home, and Noah's at home with his father. And how many times did I get called up to the school?
0.
None. This is a black male. This is a black male raised by me, co-parented with my parents. And this is a man's man. This is a football playing, offensive, defensive tackle. Did I get it right? Mm-hmm. Offensive and defensive tackle. I like to mess with him and say he's a retired football player and he's not even 25 yet. So the things that people try and put on you, the labels they try and say, the restrictions they try and put on you is all bumpkiss. You can do and achieve anything that you can do. And it starts with how you speak life over your children. So, when I was with his father, he said, of course, we found out, actually, they told us we were having a girl until I was 40 weeks pregnant, and they could not figure out why I had not gone into labor, so they did another sonogram. And back then, either the scrotum are up, and they consider them ovaries until they distend or drop, and then they know that they're scrotum. And so back then, that's the only way that they knew whether it was a boy or girl. And so his scrotum didn't drop until the end, and they were like, oh, you're having a girl. And then they was like, no, you're having a boy. So his father was like, we're going to name him after me. First thing I did, because I'm going to be honest, I had never looked it up before, I looked up what his name meant. Now, if his name had meant something like Dolores means woeful one, I would and I have never met a happy Dolores. Anybody ever met a happy Dolores? That name literally means woeful one. So thousands and thousands of times, somebody is pronouncing over you Woeful One. And so as I'm confessing that over him, I'm like, okay, I can name my son Gregory Watchful One. I can name him that. And he has really proven to be that in his life. And so, you know, coming at the first thing they have you put out the birth certificate. And when they have you fill it out, you know what they want to know? Where the mom was born, where the dad was born, and the highest education levels. Because you know what they use the highest education level of the mother to figure out? You don't, you don't know? Okay. They use that to figure out the level that the child will obtain. Because mothers that are educated are more likely to read to their children, to have experiences for their children. And so, you know, when my kids were growing up, what did you do on your summer vacations?
Read, play basketball, at my grandma's house chilling.
Yeah.
You know.
Travel
too.
Yeah, we did a lot of traveling. We would go places. We would go stay at the Disney Resort.
Yeah, we did.
We would go stay at places where there would be no other colored people besides us. And I would look at them and say, you look around. Do you see anybody else that's black in here? Pay attention. I wanted them to have experiences. And that's not to say that we didn't have things, because they have nice things. Am I boring you?
Oh, no. I'm tired.
I'm bored.
No.
This is the story of... Let me stop. So this is like, I wanted them to have experiences because research shows that children that have experiences, rich, meaningful experiences, attain more in life. So when I'm riding with my son today, he's like, you know, Mom, I decided to get my master's degree. I'm like, what did I tell you?
Do it.
You can do it. You speak life into your children. And so have I ever told you that you're nothing, that you act like your daddy, you look like your daddy, you ain't never going to amount to nothing? How do I talk to you?
Chilling.
Chilling?
Yeah, chill way, you know, in a positive way.
Yeah.
You know,
so what's on your door at your house? On your bedroom door, rather?
Like it's a piece of paper, like a notebook that just says positive things, like Gregory is smart, Gregory is handsome, Gregory is the watchful one, I think it says. Gregory is, you know, a bunch of positive things. So, you know.
So every time he walks into his door, these are these positive messages. And so I talk to you guys a lot about what I do in my home. And I want you to know I'm not putting on. I'm not lying. These are things that actually do occur. How many bills you pay at my house?
Oh, no, none.
None. Have you ever paid any bills in my house? Have I been like, you stay in my house. You got to learn responsibility. You got to pay a bill.
No, just tell me to save my money and be smart. That's
what I tell them to do. And I'm not saying if you don't do that you're wrong. This is what, because research is my thing. Human subjects research is my thing. And my mother was the Crown Regional Specialist for the state of Florida before she retired, a teacher on special assignment on loan to the Department of Education. And so I learned the things to do to have successful children. So reading to them when I was pregnant, from the time I found out I was pregnant, playing classical music to them, because there's a direct correlation between classical music and excelling in math and science. So these are the things I actually do in my home. I'm not just saying, I do this and I do that. These are the things that I do. And that's not to say that I'm perfect. You know, because I have filed bankruptcy. I have run short. But I've never told you got to wait till I get paid.
Right.
I've never told you I ain't got it. You know, and so those are typical things that especially children of color actually go through. And so what these studies, that when they talk about what children don't do and what they can't obtain, where they can't grow and how they can't elevate to another level, they don't talk about systemic oppression. They don't talk about depressed wages. They don't talk about chronic unemployment or discriminatory hiring practices. So my children have American names. He also has an African name, Arul Kwal Kunim. I also knew how likely would he be to get something with a name like Gregory as something to name Arul Kwal Kunim. Let's be honest. Research has shown over and over again, same qualifications, even sometimes elevated qualifications. Look into the REI movement, which they come in and look at the grassroots of racism in a community, and they actually do education. And so I'm actually blessed to be a part of the diversity and communication elevation at the University of Florida. And so these are some of the things that I was actually blessed to get paid to go to learn about, so that I can bless not just myself and not just the University of Florida, but the community in general. And of course, whatever I learn, I bring home. And so, these are things that people don't actually talk about. And it is proof. We went on and on with President Obama's talking about his birth certificate. He proved it. He proved over and over again. And people still try to call him a Muslim not born in America, even with proof in front of them. And so what happens is when you tell a lie enough, it becomes truth. At least what people think. Now, what's the difference between truth and fact? It's perception. You can actually believe that something is true. And so there's a way that people romanticize the family structure. And that's not to say that that's not what it should be, but it is not the only way to raise successful children. If you find yourself in a situation where you're raising your child without either a co-parent or successful co-parent, and let me put in a shameless plug. Next week, we're going to be talking to another mother that raised her children successfully, with her parents as her co-parent as opposed to the biological father. And so, there's no reason to actually demonize another partner. But when you find yourself in a situation, you make the choice, you make the step, take the steps that you can in order to elevate yourself. And so I knew that I wanted my kids to have as much, if not more, than I had. I wanted them to have experiences. I want them to have opportunities. A lot of times what people don't have is because they don't know. Mm-hmm. And so, I've talked to my kids about credit. I've talked to my kids about investment. I've talked to them about owning a vending machine instead of just using a vending machine. I've talked to them about foreign exchange investments. I've talked to them about, the difference between a CD and savings and buying a house. I mean, I sat down and showed y'all how much you pay if you have bad credit for a car versus a good credit for a car. Uh-huh. And so, how did it go when you got your last car, which was his graduation present? I took him to the car dealership and I said, "What?
Basically, get what you want.
Get what you want." And how many cars did you test drive?
6.
And then he went back. That was the first car you actually test drove that you bought, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and so this is the kind of thing I wanted my kids to be able to do. You want a car? We're going to go to the dealership and get it. And there was a time when he didn't have a car for a minute. And I was like, look, Gregory, I got to do this and this and this. I got to save this up and this up. Mm-hmm. And so those are the things that I share with them. And then after I tell them what, and then when I talk to them about buying a car, what I tell you, it's not just buying a car, it's the maintenance, it's the insurance, it's the upkeep. So you see people with a BMW and it's sitting in a yard, it's because they couldn't afford the upkeep. The tires on a BMW versus the tires on a Honda, totally different thing. Mm-hmm. Totally different thing. And so, these are the things that you have to keep in mind when you find yourself in a situation that may not necessarily be optimum. You can flip that thing. It's all in your perspective. This is an opportunity to pour more into a child. Mm-hmm. And so did you ever feel like you were deprived?
No.
Never felt like you were deprived?
Never.
And, this is, I'm blessed that my father is not just an amazing father, but an amazing grandfather. And so I remember one time when my daughter I'm going to just say that she's gorgeous. They would tell her that she looked like a chocolate Barbie. And I'm like, no, Barbie looked like a vanilla Courtney. Get it right. And so I was actually in the store with Courtney one day, and she's in the basket. And this lady's like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Your dad must be so proud of you. And I'm in my head, the first thing I'm thinking is, her being pretty is something to be proud of. What about being smart? What about being intelligent? The fact that she's completely healthy. And Courtney looked at this woman and she said, my daddy's married to my grandma. And that woman clutched her pearls and was like, oh my God, this is incest, reported. And I was like, calm down, Nancy. She calls her granddaddy daddy, and he is not her biological father. She's like, I was really proclaimed for a moment. I was really proclaimed. But that's how amazing my parents have been to my family. And so when I say Gregory will take our trash out on Monday nights, and because we live so close to my parents, their trash night is Monday night, he'll go down the street and put his granddaddy's trash out without being asked. He doesn't do it every time, but he does those these are things that I tell him that you can't, in a monetarily way, pay people for. How you can pay me back? I don't need you to pay a bill. What I need you to do is bring me home them A's and B's so that I can be proud. Keep staying and doing the right thing so that I can actually be proud of you. And that's not to say if he wasn't at UF, I wouldn't be proud of him. Whatever he does, I'm actually proud of my son as long as he's looking for his potential and his purpose.
Right.
Anything you want to add?
I'm chilling. Nothing really to say right now.
Not yet?
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
I let it come to me.
And so, this is not to say that, I did a perfect job or that I'm a perfect parent, but my aspiration was to raise kids that didn't need therapy from being raised by me. That seems like a very low goal, but if you think about the family members, the friends, the associates that you have that are traumatized emotionally, financially because of their parents, then you realize, okay, this is a goal. I don't want my kids to be traumatized. Scroll down your line on your Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, on whatever social media that you have. Take a time, turn off the noise around you and listen to the conversation around you, and you will see that there are people crying out for help. There are people crying out for attention. There are people literally committing suicide on Facebook because they're not getting the love and the attention that they have at home. One of the studies that shows is that especially black males are touch deprived. So sometimes I just walk by and rub them. You don't want your child acting out because they're touch deprived. I don't know where this misconception came. The kids don't need love. The boys don't need hugs and stuff. I'll kiss my son on his forehead. I'll send him a random text. And if my phone wasn't on Facebook, I could show you. There's just random texts through the day. And I'll just send them, Gregory, I'm proud of you. And I don't just say I'm proud of you. I tell you, I'm proud of you because you are obtaining your dreams. I'm proud of you because you make good choices. Right. I'm proud of you because of the gentleman that you have turned into. I'm proud of you because you open doors. Those blanket, just general statements of, oh, I'm so proud of you. You're my son. I love you. Why? Sometimes I'll sit and send a huge long text of, thank you for doing this, this, and this, and this. Thank you for doing this, this, and this, and this. And that's because I want his bucket of love to be full. So that's not to say he's going to be a virgin. He ain't a virgin now, neither am I. But the thing is that he's not going to be looking for companionship just because he's starved for attention, he's starved for touch. And then that's when you have people having problems with not respecting boundaries and not saying no. And so one of the things I told him, because I saw my son is good looking, I told him, I said, Gregory, some girls will get mad at you because you would not take it and they will try and give it to you. And that one of the conversations that we had?
Yeah, when I was like in high school.
Yeah, when he was in high school, I told him some girls will get mad at you because they tried to give it to you and you wouldn't take it. And then some girls will be mad at you because they want to give it to you. And so these are situations you find yourself in. I was like, look, even if a girl send you a picture, delete that mess, don't share it, because that's child porn. And one of your friends actually got caught up in it, right? Two of them got caught up in it. So, your girlfriend send you a picture of her boobs and you sharing it with your friends and you don't think anything of it. But that is actually child pornography. And whether you know it or not, it's a broken law. So the little pitfalls, when you know things like this, you pass it on to the next generation so that they can actually be more successful than you. I want my kids to have more than me. I want my kids to do more than me. One of the things I wanted them to come out to is to come out in a house and not in an apartment. Because one of the things I talked to them about is saving money. To buy a house while you're paying bills is harder than it is to just come out with some money in your savings account. Mm-hmm. It is much harder. And so, it was funny. I remember when I had my third son, my little surprise, and Gregory and Courtney, when they were in school, and my parents checked them out so that they could come see their little brother. And they came in the room and they saw him. They was like, oh, man, he's so little. He's so little. And I was like, this boy is not little. He is 10 pounds, 1 ounce. They went down the hall and came back at what you said.
He's not little.
He's not little. They saw the normal size babies and they was like, oh. So here again is another version of perspective. And so because of my life, because I've lived a little longer, I knew a 10-pound, 1 ounce baby was far from tiny. That joker came out wearing 3-month clothes. He could not wear anything that we bought that was actually newborn. But because I knew that my perspective was different, I knew he wasn't little. My children's perspectives, theirs wasn't as wide as mine. So even though I told them, then they were actually able to witness it and go out and share it with people and go, oh, wait, yeah, this boy is big. He's a chunky boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not chunky now, but...
No, he's not. He slimmed up. Mm-hmm. That's funny. He was the biggest one, and now he's the skinniest one. So Gregory was 8 pounds, 1 ounce. He was 21 and a quarter inches, so he was long and skinny. And it's when he was first born, he kept balling up because he was so used to being in the tight space. I'm like, you can be free, son. Give us free. Give us the free. You can stretch out now, and he's still stretching out. He plays basketball. He plays football. And I have watched him do this for 23 years, and I still know nothing about sports, do I?
Not at all.
No. I fix the snacks. That's my job.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. Definitely.
But we enjoy music together. We listen to music together. We was rocking out to Drake, his last album. No, that wasn't the last one.
No, that one came out. The one we listened to came out in 2017. So.
See how old I'm is. But I knew it was Drake. Yeah. But I started it by playing Passion Fruit.
Yeah, Passion Fruit is straight.
Yeah, so I played that first, and Gregory was like, yeah, go ahead and put that whole album on. And I was like, he said, start it from the beginning. And, these are things that I enjoy doing with him. Just spending time, talking to him. Unfortunately, Gregory has been everywhere. And because I brag on my son, I post him. He'd be like, one of your friends told me to tell you hi. And they recognized you, but you had no idea where they were.
I have no clue who these people are. No disrespect. I just don't. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't lie
Right.
to him.
And but unfortunately, because of what your mom does, we can go anywhere. And is there anywhere we go and nobody knows me?
No.
Every time we go somewhere, somebody knows. We've been in the grocery store. I'm like, Gregory, this is Dr. So and so, and he's like, no, that's your mom. Your mom is the boss. I just do what she tells me to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, these are things, but it is amazingly humbling for me to be able to say, that we beat the odds. That this is a amazingly successful young man. And that's to say, and I think I only paid for 2 classes, right?
No. Like, paid for a little bit, but not much. Most of my education was already paid for, so it's a blessing.
And then you got a scholarship.
Yeah, got 2.
2 scholarships. And so I only paid for 2 classes myself.
Yeah.
For his education, and there's no loans.
None.
Thank you, Jesus. And so I was adamant about that. I'm like, whatever we got to do, we can't get no loans. If you don't get a Pell Grant, you don't get a scholarship. I'm gonna be on the corner selling barbecue dinners because we is not getting no loans. We're gonna do fish dinners. We're gonna do just like the church. I'm gonna be a Facebook pastor. I'm gonna be on this. I'm like, I feel the Spirit of the Lord scrolling through your timeline on one cell phone while I'm on the Facebook with my iPad. I feel the Spirit of the Lord saying, you got a son named James who just got locked up, and God says if you plant a seed for $50. He gonna set him free. See, if I got to be a Facebook pastor, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to make sure we weren't gonna get no loans. Right. I'm just saying.
Right.
And so I mentioned the fact that he has sports is your thing, right?
Everything.
Sports is your thing. So even in your degree, what's your degree in? Sports management. And you have you volunteered for a while.
Yeah.
But now you are a manager over a local.
Yeah, manager at a youth sports league, and then I work at UF as well, the gym at UF. I'm a supervisor there as well. So,
Yeah. And so he's inundated with sports. He get that from his daddy too. His dad only played basketball, but you play basketball and football. What's your favorite?
Football.
Football is your favorite.
Basketball is fun, but football is has my heart. So
yeah, that's the thing. And so also my brothers have been instrumental in raising Gregory to be the amazing gentleman that he is. We'll be in the house quiet, and all of a sudden you hear, and it's your Uncle Derek out there cutting the yard. Mm-hmm. Thank God we don't have to cut the yard, and then the cats are at the door upset because he's cutting the yard, making too much noise. My brothers come through. He's got Noah playing him. What is that thing? The remote control car?
A little, I forgot what it's called, but the little remote control cars. They're fast, but
yeah,
he has his own now.
He has Noah had to have his own remote control car. Mm-hmm. But my brother doesn't say, oh, no, he's too young to play with him, or I can't do that with him. He's too young. He's always out there with him, letting Noah play with him. And then, of course, playing age-appropriate music when my son is around. And so that's the other thing. There's things that you don't, when y'all were younger, I didn't curse around you, did I? Mm-hmm. No, so what I would literally say, what in the bleep is that? I would say the word bleep rather than curse.
Right.
And people thought that was funny. And so because I didn't want them to grow up with, for me, I felt like, especially as a woman, that it's not ladylike to curse. And so I didn't curse in front of my kids. I didn't watch movie. I watched cartoons with y'all until, I still watch cartoons.
SpongeBob and Courage Cowardly Dog, yeah. That's my 2 favorite things, yeah.
Because that's a way to actually keep things straight, to control the environment of your children. And so I try and do the same thing with Noah. Time is different. Now they got, video games that are internet connected. Mm-hmm. Gregory you had, what was it, a PS2 when you were 2?
PS2 was my thing, yeah.
So he had a PS2. Mm-hmm. Did you get a PS3?
Yeah, I got everything.
You got the PS3, then you got the PS4 now. Mm-hmm. So Gregory, Courtney, and Noah each have their own PS4 in their rooms. Mm-hmm. But they still be in each other's rooms playing.
Exactly.
So this is, and so Gregory and Courtney, they share the same biological father. Noah has a different biological father, my current husband. And so, but Gregory and Courtney, that y'all pick him up every day. Every day. It's nothing for me to be in a meeting and Gregory texts me a picture of him and Noah sitting at Chick-fil-A eating something, or, Noah in the back seat with a pizza. I'm like, Gregory, mm-hmm. Did you whatever Noah wants. They make sure he gets his haircuts. They help him with his after school homework and stuff. Noah doesn't have after school. He has his brother and sister.
Right.
And did I ask you to do that? No. Have I ever been like, you need to watch your little brother, come change his diaper? Never, never. This is just when you raise children to love one another, regardless of the parenting. That's what they're siblings. It's not stepbrother, stepsister. They are siblings. And so when you were little, if I was alone with you, which didn't happen often, and you wanted something, what I tell you? Get one for your sister.
Yeah.
It was always, and if I was alone with Courtney and she wanted something, so it was never where I pitted them against one another. So if Gregory got something and he happened to be alone with me, get one for your sister. And then we bring it home. And so once you do that over and over again, you get to the point where you don't have to even ask, I got this one for Gregory, I got this one for Courtney. Courtney likes this and Gregory likes this. There doesn't need to be sibling rivalry. You know, y'all had y'all bumpy parts because that's part of being a teenager.
Of course.
But y'all are still close as heck. And I'll come home, pull up in the yard, Gregory, Courtney, and Noah out there playing football. And I can't join them because I can dance, but I can't play no football.
Yeah, that's not true.
I remember one time I tried to play basketball with you and I sprained my ankle. And I didn't even make the shot.
Yeah.
Didn't even come nowhere near the hoop. All I got was a sprained ankle, but I tried. See what the Lord did.
Yeah, you tried. That's all that matters. She gave you effort, so you know. Good.
Well, I appreciate you joining me today.
Oh yeah, I appreciate y'all having me.
I'm so thankful. You want to say anything closing before we end this? Because this is our time.
Yeah. You know, I'm just thankful to have a mother that, you know, cares about me, that, you know, put me and my sister and my little brother before any of her interests. I'm glad to, especially being a young black man, that I'm staying on the right path. I had people around me that cared about me, that, you know, put me on the right path. So I'm just thankful, you know. So I've just tried to pay back by just, probably can never pay back money-wise, but pay back by just being the best man I could be.
Amen.
And grinding every day, so, you know.
Thank you,
That's all I really
Jesus.
gotta say, you know.
And I want to say this. I've said this before. I'm going to ask this in front of witness. I don't beat the heck out of my kids. Has Noah ever had a spanking?
No.
Does he ever get in trouble?
No, he just knows. He knows.
We talk to him.
Yeah, we talk to him. He doesn't.
And what we tell him, is this a good choice or a bad choice?
Yeah, you don't have to beat him. You just gotta talk to him.
I do not. You know, a lot of times people feel like you have to beat your kids before the police get a hold to them. No, you nurture them, you love them, you raise them to make right choices and to be respectful, and then they won't have encounters with police. And you've actually had, you know, you've been pulled over before, and there's never been a problem.
Never.
When actually my last two cars when I got them, they took my cars when I brought them home. They were like, "Okay, we're taking it for a ride." They didn't know how to turn on the headlights, and we didn't either. The cops pulled you over because you was riding in the dark with the headlights, and what did the cop do?
He just told me he checked everything obviously, and then just told me to turn them on, and then no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
I was nice to him. He was nice about it, and that was it.
He was respectful, and you didn't even get a ticket or anything.
Nothing.
And so one of the things that I do is I purposely pray over my children, and I purpose that they have safe travels. Before we were coming to the studio today, I would turn the music off for a second, and I thank God in advance for having a good show, for having safe travels, for getting there, for the blessing of having the opportunity to have a podcast, because I don't take it for granted. Because, you know, the engineer has a 7-page application process, and the first 3 applications he threw back at me, and he hit me in my eye, and I had a black eye for about 3 weeks because he put a rock in the middle of the paper before he threw it back at me. He was like, "Get it right, fool." And after that last one, I got it right, because pain can teach you really important lessons. And so after I got that last one right, I got my application in, I got my 3 references, and I got my podcast going. And I'm blessed because I'm talking to my kids about streams of income, revenue coming from multiple sources, and that you have a job that you love. And I'm glad that I have a job that I love that compensates me, but I want streams of income. And so in that process of getting there, I'm doing comedy. I used to do African dance. I have this podcast. I've written a book. I co-authored another book. These are things I'm doing that anybody can do. Anybody can do. So I don't even have my books with me today, but I'm thankful to be here. We're going to wrap this up because every minute over, it's like daycare is $15 a minute that I go over on my time, and I ain't bring but $3.52 with me. You got any money?
I got something.
So we don't want to go over our time. So thank you so much for being here with me, Gregory. I love you.
Love you too.
I love you. I'm so proud of you. And so guys, please like, share, subscribe, tag, comment. If there's a topic that you want us to see us cover, next week is co-parenting successfully. Co-parenting alone actually is what we're going to talk about. I appreciate the page is up to over 700 likes. So please share the Conversations with Evolving's Queen page and share it. I appreciate you. And until next week, make sure that you do at least one kind thing for yourself. Say one kind thing to yourself. Share one kind thing with somebody else, and start that path to elevation. Good night, guys.
Good night, y'all. Y'all be
Thank
safe.
you.
Be blessed.
Like, comment, and share. Do it, baby. Like, comment, and share. Good night.
Good night.